That's not the taste of victory. Not quite sure what that's the taste of, Jay. But we are football sickos up here at 5:45 a.m. Still getting the people their preview episode for next week at the Fly Shields Fly podcast because we are playing the Orlando Storm again for the third time, third week in a row. But I do have some lemonade for you. We're not going to Orlando. We're not even going back to Audi. We're going to the historic Columbus Crew Stadium. So, perhaps not hosting a home game, losing four in a row is a lemon, but a lemonade we get at a neutral site. I'd rather probably go there than be at the Blackhawks. What do you think?
Listen, I feel like I'm trapped in the worst version of football Groundhog Day, just watching us get torched by the Orlando Storm over and over and over again.
It is sad.
So, yeah, we're up early, doing it for the pod. However, I'm not feeling great about us going into the playoffs. But before we get to the weekend review, the preview, let's get it going with the red eye.
We're opening drive first. Relax.
Well, I got something for the red eye.
Okay, so do I. And I think
All
the
right.
audience knows too. But anyway, opening drive, we're going to do a personal anecdote and then a little bit, like a mini, like a drop of history, like cream in your coffee. But man, I got an idea to make the United Bowl better.
All right.
And it is rooted in being a history teacher. So we'll see what we get there. So, first opening drive. I want to shout out those people that make the football experience, the game day experience better that you don't see or you don't realize. The only way you would know is if you were really in that engine, you were in that machine.
One of those if you know type times.
Yeah. So, I want to see if you can think of anybody, any sort of support staff, someone that was a part of the program when you were in high school, or even as a coach, that make the wheels turn as a player and as a coach. So I have a couple in the chamber, and then yeah, do you know what I mean? Like support
Yeah.
staff.
Yeah. First one that comes to mind is athletic trainers. The athletic training staff. If you look at uh any professional college or most high school stadiums on a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, that athletic training staff is there from the time the teams take the field for warm-ups until the last player leaves, and then even after that in the training room, doing some post-game rehab. They're there for practices. They're there for pre-game warm-ups. They're there for post-game treatment. The athletic training staff is as much a part of the team as any player or coach, in my opinion. Some other ones, the ticket takers, the person that doesn't usually get to see at least the first half of the game, but they're there getting the gate money, making sure everybody's paying their 5, 10, whatever it costs to get into a high school game. Um, a lot of that stuff is done on the pre end for the college and the professional level, but the ticket sellers, that's huge. Keeps the revenue running. The announcers, I think that if you have a great announcer and a great band, then the environment can be absolutely electric. I don't want to go through all of them, but those are three quick ones that came to mind for me.
I like that you took a different approach than maybe I was thinking. It also, I think, encompasses the whole experience too. I was thinking specific, so like people behind the scenes that made my experience infinitely better. We'll talk about in college my equipment manager and field manager, Charlie and Penner,
Those are
Charlie
smart
Handbook
ones.
and Bob Penner. They actually just got elected in the Dickinson Athletics Hall of Fame
Congrats.
this year. I should have gone up. I regret not. I got to tap in with those guys. They were instrumental in my football experience. They even hired me as a work study in our job. I was part of the crew that was doing the laundry for the sports departments and getting the fields ready and working the games when I was in the off season. Charlie and Penner, they were unbelievable guys, and they truly cared about us too. And then you speak about athletic trainers. I had the same athletic trainer for 4 years. His name's Adam Richmond. Uh, really intentional, really smart and skilled. And even when I was a senior and I was done my time as a football player, I was training for an all-star game. And we would lift together at speaking about this time in the morning. I still remember he would drink black coffee in the morning. He said that was the best thing to get started, just a little bit of black coffee. I don't know why I remember that specifically, but you'll never see me drinking black coffee before lifting. And I also want to shout out, because of my Pencrest experience, Barb Weiler, who had her son went through the Pencrest football program, and she's just tapped in with the boosters with the Gridiron Club, and she takes these awesome pictures. She's at everything. She's at the varsity games, the JV games. She was at our community night. She was at our picture day. She was at the Hero Bowl last week. Barb is just a bright personality, and make sure she gets pictures of every kid so they can flick up and look good for the gram and just be proud of themselves. And they are top-notch pictures too. So shout out Barb.
Big time.
So yeah, the game day experience, man. It's more than just what you see on the field and then Coach Kais slinging plays from the booth.
Yeah, I do want to mention. I mentioned them briefly, but the band, dude. There was something about having the band at high school games, at college games, that just makes the environment so much different. I remember lining up and the band played the same song. It was just like a nice little drum beat to right before a kickoff. And if I was on the kickoff team, then I'm bouncing around, I'm jumping around, I'm ready to go. If I'm not on the kickoff team that week, I'm on the sideline hyping up the defense before we take the field. And it's just something about a good full high school band just to get the energy going. Great question, though. Great question to get us started.
Chris had a great band too. All right. So, mini history lesson. I wanted to just go across the history of what these spring football championships were called and perhaps where they were held. Now, I'm not going to say this every time because it's redundant. I went through the XFL, the USFL, and now the UFL. Each time, it's a top 4 team format. We do have 2 divisions. From 2020 on, we have 2 divisions. The top 2 from each division play each other, and then that creates the championship. We have gone back, actually, to the original XFL model in 2001, where you have a bunch of teams and just straight up top 4 make it. So that's actually going back to our roots in the Vince McMahon 2001 model, where the top 4 teams go and play each other. But let's start with 2020 and 2023 with the the relaunched XFL. We have the XFL Championship. It was 2020 championship was obviously canceled because of COVID. The 2023 championship was played. Both were supposed to be played at the Alamo Dome in San Antonio. You have the USFL in 2022, 2023 that played the USFL championship game. I think this is pretty cool. They played it at the Tom Benson Hall of Fame Stadium in Canton, Ohio, where the Football Hall of Fame is. And then you have the UFL 2024, the UFL 2025, both held in the Dome at America Center in, for the sake of the accurate history, St. Louis, Missouri, but as we know,
Seattle.
the home of the Seattle Blackhawks. And then now we have a new name, the United Bowl. And it'll be held, the first United Bowl, at Audi Field in Washington, D.C. But here's my thing, Jay. I think I fixed another problem. Rapoldi needs to get tapped in with us. In 2001, there was a championship game in the original Vince McMahon WWE NBC owned XFL. At first, they called it the big game at the end of the season. They didn't have a name for it yet. It was just the big game at the end.
All right.
But then about week 3, week 4, Vince McMahon had a name for it. Called it the $1 Million Game. The $1 Million Game, it was called. Because the winning team was going to receive $1 million to split amongst themselves. Now, at the time, there were 38 players on the roster. I'm not going to do the math now, but I think it was like 20-something grand, 26 whatever grand a person.
That's pretty close.
To whoever won the $1 Million Game. I think we should take that. I think it should be called the $1 Million Game now. That's cool, because here's the thing. I remember I told you early on, Early on, we were in the weeds talking about how players get a bonus for winning the championship. They get a $5,000 bonus. 50 players, $5,000 a player. Right now, the game is technically a quarter million dollar game, 250 grand.
Okay.
That $1 million game was held at the Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum.
Ooh.
Again, winning team gets $1 million, splits it up. Right now, it's technically a $250,000 game where each player gets $5,000. I think we should have called it the $1 million game, and I think that we should have $1 million on the table, and it should split up, go back to the roots. Thoughts? That's my history lesson and my question.
I'm into it. 26K, 26 and some change
Well,
going
it'd
back to
be
each
a little
player.
less, right? Because 50
Nope.
players.
Nope. You said how many?
Well, back then it was 38 on a roster. Now
Oh, yeah. We might have to take that up. That might have to be the $2 million game or
that
something.
became 20 grand.
Yeah. We're dropping that a little low. However, I think the idea is solid. I don't like the name as the official name being the $1 million game. But if it's the UFL Championship, the United Championship,
United Bowl.
aka the United Bowl, aka the $1 million game, I think that could be fun. How the Rose Bowl is the granddaddy of them all, where it's got two names it goes by. I like that idea. Um, I don't think you should have to get paid to get up to play a football game. I think it should be inherently for the love of the game. However,
Easy for us to
it's
say that.
nice. It's nice to get that bonus check after you handle business. I think it'd be a lot of fun. I think it would draw some eyes. People be asking questions about, oh man, what's the United Bowl? What's this $1 million game? Let me tap in. And maybe someone's not listening and watching in the beginning of the season up through the playoffs, but they clicking through on June 13th and they see the $1 million game is on. Maybe they tap in and they're a fan for the following season. I think it's a nice marketing tool. I know Vince McMahon is a brander. I think he was on to something with that. So Dwayne and team, maybe you got an idea you can pick back up.
Dwayne, Danny, Redbird, Capital, Rapoli, get on that.
Yeah,
I like the idea of both. Because it's the United Bowl, but it's the $1 million game. I like that.
that's the move.
Is America not addicted to reality shows and game shows? We bring the best of both worlds together with American football.
Hell yeah.
I think we're on to something. Well, speaking of the United Bowl, Jay, this brings us to our red eye. And last week, when I found out that 50 Cent was the performer at the first ever United Bowl, it took me back a little bit. It took me back to the fall, going into the winter, let's call it early December 2015, when I was a young buck. It was 11 years ago. I was in my first job. I was traveling the country. And I spent a lot of my weekends alone exploring the country. I always saw something new. And this led to my beef with 50 Cent.
All right. Can we take a pause? Can we take a quick push pin in this? Before you go any further, I just want everyone on the podcast, including Curtis 50 Cent Jackson, to know this beef is one sided. I am not involved in this beef with Curtis 50 Cent Jackson by any means at all. So when this goes viral and this goes into a clapback between Coach Mars and Curtis, leave Coach J out of it. Proceed.
Some call it tofu, artificial beef. But hey, that's what I tell kids in the classroom. Like, listen, you're not, this isn't even serious. No, but you listen, Curtis 50 Cent Jackson, I'm a reasonable guy. We can come to the table and you can restore this relationship because this is one sided. You've done harm to me, and you know I'm a flexible guy. I'll talk to all comers, and we can maybe work it out. But anyway, how old would I have been at the time? Yeah, a fresh 22 I was at the time in Cleveland, a cold December day. I went to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I went to Great Lakes Brewery when they were whipping up the Christmas ale. Got back to my hotel, and I don't know if I was on Instagram or I saw an advertisement. I saw that about a couple blocks away from me at a bar and grill called the Barley House, 50 Cent was doing a performance promoting his new partnership with Effin Vodka, EFFEN Vodka. And you know what? I said to myself, I'm pretty tired. I'm like, you know what? No. I have fandom of 50 Cent. I want to go see 50 Cent perform. So I called ahead. Uh, it was a $30 cover charge, and I needed to wear a collared shirt. So I put on my collared shirt, got my $30 11 years ago, went over to the Barley House. I get there, there's a red carpet, there's an ice
Ooh,
sculpture, a 50 Cent ice sculpture, the size of my waist up.
classy.
There's a picture that exists of me somewhere with it. And the appearance was supposed to be at 9 o'clock. So I get there at about 8:30. Again, I'm by myself. And of course, I made some friends. I remember I'm making a couple that was from Buffalo. They were Bills fans, which we can admire, we can appreciate. And I'm there, and it's 9 o'clock, and it's 9:30, and it's 10, and it's 10:30, and then it's 11, and
Hmm.
then it's about 11:15. Things are iffy. There's a red carpet out front. 50 Cent was supposed to come in the front red carpet, past his ice sculpture, take some flicks. No, at 11:15, the music changes. 50 Cent comes in the back door. He DJs two songs. He doesn't perform Indie Club. He plays Indie Club for 30 seconds, plays another song I can't remember. I think it was Rihanna or something. Um, and then he leaves. 50 Cent was there for maybe 7 minutes. I spent $30 and like 3 hours of my life to see 50 Cent perform, and he didn't. He robbed an experience from me that night. He robbed the people in that facility of an experience that night. The people were lied to. This was a money grabbing effort from 50 Cent's team, and my money was grabbed. And you know what? It's not even about that, it's about the experience. And I felt wronged by a performer near and dear to my heart, Curtis 50 Cent Jackson. And I haven't forgot it. And when I saw he was the performer, I remembered it again. Jordan, do I have the right to be upset?
No,
Oh my
no,
God, like that?
no. So coming off of our initial conversation in the opening drive about how many things go on in the background of the big show. This is a background thing. What is effing vodka? Never heard of them until 50 Cent got on board. And you told me about it right now. Never heard of effing vodka. I believe that Curtis 50 Cent Jackson doesn't care about your $30. Okay? I don't think that Curtis 50 Cent Jackson was out here saying, "Hey, let's run a scam on the good people that are going to come out for this $30 ticket, get on this $30 show." Curtis 50 Cent Jackson is what, 150 mil in the bank, the net worth of probably 150 million dollars. I don't think he was purposefully delayed on the show. I don't think he I don't think he was really giving a shit about the effing vodka at, we said, a Columbus, Ohio.
Sorry, I blew my nose there. No, Cleveland, Ohio.
Cleveland, Ohio. All right. I don't think that this was a purely a 50 Cent thing. That man's got his hands in everything. He's got TV shows, he's got music, he's got media companies, he's got spirits, he's got a crazy music catalog going decades long. And he's worked with Coca-Cola, he's worked with the NFL, he's worked with the NBA, he's done all these things. I'm going to give Curtis 50 Cent some Jackson some credit, some space, some grace on this one, and say it was a scheduling error, and that you two need to squash your beef.
Sounds like you're
$30.
sounds like you're way more on his side. Yeah, I mean $30. That's like
Listen, I knew Curtis 50 Cent Jackson 11 years ago. I didn't know Robbie Marsden. I don't know what you were into. I don't know what you were getting into.
pretty much this same exact things since I was 15 years old. So, listen, all I'm saying is if come United Bowl, which I will be at, and you will hopefully be watching on the telly. Why'd I call it the telly? I don't know. And 50 Cent lip syncs the whole time or plays two songs and dips. You heard
It's a
it here.
halftime show. That's all he's gonna play. He's got
No,
time for.
he should play for 15 minutes. Don't you think that's the standard?
That's 3 songs. I'll give you that.
No, it's like 50 Cent
No,
songs.
this is 50 Cent. This is not what Rod Wave and the new age rapper who can only rap for 2 minutes. This is Curtis 50 Cent Jackson. He's giving you 5 minutes a hit.
I don't know why Rob Wave's catching strays, but the pod community doesn't need to hear that right
Ha, ha, ha.
now. What's your red eye, dude? Anyway, 50 Cent, I'm open to.
All right, hold on. Before we move on, let's mediate this. What's gonna allow this beef to be closed out? He throws you a sweaty 50 Cent beater at the United Bowl. What do we need? He needs to bring you on stage, backstage. What do you need? You guys split a bottle of effing vodka. What are we gonna do to get this beef officially squashed?
Um, maybe a follow to the Fly Shields Fly
Take
podcast
that.
on Instagram
I'll take that.
and him playing for 15 minutes on June 13th.
Not too bad of an ask.
I don't think those are unreasonable.
I'll have 50's people reach out. See if we can close this deal.
I don't think that that's a
Ha.
woolly ask.
All right, my red eye is less of a red eye in the sense that I'm unsaying something or undoing something that was said. My red eye is I think I was right. I think that I was right about Jordan Teamu making the coaching staff better because
I was thinking about that. I didn't know if you
the
would.
bottom of this game, the end of this game, was perplexing to say the least, and straight up anarchy to say it more accurately. We could not. I don't know what we were doing with the clock management at the end of this game.
Yeah,
The decision making at the end of the game. Again, I know the game seemed out of reach, but in the UFL, you can score 13 points with a field goal and an extra and a 2 point conversion and a touchdown. Score 13 points really fast in this league. And we played with no urgency, no we didn't seem like we were cognizant of the situation. We ended the game with timeouts. Why are we spiking the ball with 2 timeouts left? What's the point of that? Like the timeouts don't carry over to next week. I know we got to play the Orlando Storm again 3 times in a row, but we're not taking this week's game and getting those timeouts for next week. Why are we not using them?
listen, you're preaching to the choir. I have that in my stock up, stock down fraud watch segment. So I'm going to
All
save my.
right, let's save it. Let's save it. I just wanted to say,
I will say.
clear eyes, full hearts can't lose for my red eye.
I will say that I've watched a game in 3 different ways: in person, at home on the couch with the broadcast, and at a bar. Those are the three food groups, and I think that particular sequence was interesting to watch in the comfort of my own home with the broadcast because it was going back and forth between the broadcasters and Shannon Harris and the field, and having the broadcasters being like, "This is truly the word is like that I thought of too perplexing. We are perplexed at why." And then his body language was weird and dismissive and casual, and almost to the point where he kind of knew that he mismanaged it already, so he just had to go down that path
Just went with it.
late. And then seeing that on the but I got that for later. Allow me to lead us into the film room.
Into the film room.
And thank you, Together Skateboarding and Coffee, bringing coffee and community together in North Philadelphia, for sponsoring the Red Eye segment about our disagreements with Coach Harris and Curtis 50 Cent Jackson, not in that order. All right. So I have 4. I'm trying to boil down my notes into 2 ups and 2 downs. Okay. 1, give you credit, Jay. The defense was awesome to watch. I'm not, me, I'm an offensive guy. I love watching blocking schemes. I love watching how you account for blitzes. I love watching how you manipulate the secondary and the safeties and get people open. I loved watching the defense today. And 2 plays in specific that are really unique and unlike anything I've seen before is, for one, Derek Roberson going off sides and immediately forcing a fumble down the field just with the violence.
Yeah.
That was awesome. Derek Roberson immediately had a fire lit and made things right. And then probably something I've never seen before. Derek Parrish coming off the edge, number 8 or number 9. I just want to get this right because I have the roster somewhere. Oh no, where did I put it? I rolled it up. Anyway, Derek Parrish, I believe number 8, came off the edge, had got one hand on the chest plate of Jack the Plumber, and was getting actively blocked and pancaked and never let go that one-handed grip. I'm not sure I've ever seen a pure one-handed sack before, and I saw it yesterday.
Yeah, number 8, Derek Parrish,
Yes.
absolutely 6 foot 241, and apparently the grip strength of a gorilla.
I mean,
Because
that was
how do
incredible.
you do that?
He
that's
was
that's a grown man blocking you, and you're dragging another grown man to the ground while it's happening. Very impressive play.
Those are my two highlights. I don't know if I've ever seen a true one-handed sack. Not like, you grip his jersey and you're falling down or you trip him up. Like, no, like I'm gonna grab a hold of you and you're mine now, and you're gonna go down.
You're coming with me, little fella.
So a second up, the running game did look good. Again, a lot of quarterback rushing yards, but I did like what we were seeing with the running game. And there was two things I was concerned. Well, one thing I was concerned about, one thing I was happy with. One, we had our starting tackle Yasir Durant was hurt, so Tarkin was back in. Now Tarkin has starting experience, and he looked good. I mean, we didn't find ourselves complaining about the offensive line, so I was really happy with that. And I think an X factor here with the run game, Jay. Briley Moore's been out the last 3 games.
Yeah,
Briley Moore was back,
he was back.
and he was getting his
He
nose
was back, man.
with the blocking. So
Okay, good.
I think that the running game looked good, and I think that Briley Moore being back is connected to that. So the defense being awesome and the running game looking good, especially with Durant hurt and Briley Moore back, are two good signs. My two downs are one, Money Matt. I mean, dude, you're supposed to be the premier UFL kicker. Like, you can't be missing. 51, I get. Like, 50, anytime you miss over 50, I'm not going to get too mad at you. But the 42-yarder, we need those field goals, Matt. We need to lean on you. And that was frustrating because, one field goal, no harm, no foul, but those add up. Those add up, and it makes the game dynamic much different. Especially when we were doing a good job getting down the field, getting toward the red zone, and we weren't finishing, but we got to make Bean feel comfortable with making those field goals. And then that leads me to my second down. Just the Jason Bean experience is a bit of a roller coaster. And I'll talk more about that a little later. My one friend Jason texted me and said he's kind of like Jason Winston. You just got to like deal with the mistakes and let him cook because he'll sling it, but also have really great moments. His legs were great. He had some great passes, but hovering around or below 50% completion rate is what got him shipped out of Louisville and is preventing us from putting together concrete drives here. So Bean's mistakes, but hopefully he worked through them with this full game of experience back. And then McCrane's costly misses that change the dynamic of the game and are becoming kind of a pattern lately. Those are my two downs.
I mean, if you stick with McCrane real quick, 29-23 final score, 2 missed field goals, 6 points right there. That closes that gap. Um, Bean, I think, like you said, he looked good overall. There's a few key moments that are just not hitting. Some missed passes, just not setting your feet and following through on the pass, letting the ball sail or crash into the ground or right into the hands of a defender. Not a DC defender from the Storm. Uh, and the 3rd and 1 where he slides,
Yeah.
or the third down where he slid a yard short. We ended up getting the first down, but that's a crucial moment that stuck out to me. Uh, Late in the third quarter, maybe into the fourth, where he breaks the pocket on a pass play, scrambles, and slides down in front of a defenseman 16 inches short of the first down. If that's a 3rd and 1 that we don't convert, or that's a 4th and 1 and you're sliding, I know we want to protect our quarterbacks. I know we want them to get on the ground and avoid hits whenever possible, but that's not one of those times. That's one of the times you got to lower the shoulder, absorb the hit, deliver a strike to the other team, and make sure you secure that first down in a critical moment. Over and over again this season, our special teams have cost us, whether it's in the kicking game and not scoring points, or that blocked punt yesterday.
Yeah, good point.
Those are huge moments. And when you're trying to beat a team like the Orlando Storm, who's 8-2, and you're a team like the DC Defenders, who finishes the season on the backside of the season 1-4 after starting off 4-1, you need every play that you can get. So whether it's the quarterback putting his shoulder down and running for that first down on 3rd and short, if it is making sure we don't have kicks blocked, we're not throwing interceptions, we're not fumbling on kickoff return, we have to tighten these things up, because frankly, we're just not good enough to make mistakes. We're not good enough to beat a good team like the Storm with mistake filled football. We have to play mistake free if we're going to have any shot to kind of turn around this thing. Like, we started off 4-1, 4-1, and finished with a 5-5 record. It's like a mirror, looking at a season in a mirror. We lost our first game of the 5 in the front half. We won our first game of the 5 on the back half. In the front half, we won 4 straight. On the back half, we lose 4 straight. Let's not make it 5. Let's not make it 5, fellas.
That would be a dastardly way to end.
Sure would. Sure would, but that looks like where it's going. How we've been playing. It's not looking great. And I know we come on here normally and we're cheery, we're boosting the team, we're talking about how great things are. We can't do that. We dropped 4 in a row.
Things aren't great.
Nah. We
There
got some
are
things to tighten up.
great puzzle pieces, but the puzzle, I was going to say something clever. I don't have it in me right now. Doesn't look good.
It
Got
looks like someone took some puzzles from another piece, threw them in with these pieces,
not
shook
fit.
up the box, and they're just not fitting together.
Somewhere in there though is a nice Van Gogh painting. Somewhere, maybe we'll find it. Speaking of being, do you have something else for this segment, Jay?
No, no.
So I took your approach for the lemon of the game.
Ooh.
Speaking of something cheery, I got 2 quick ones as far as lemon and lemonade. So this was a real-time 5-minute experience. There's a new UFL docu-series coming out called 4th and Goal, and they did a sneak peek at halftime. And my lemon of that moment that left a sour taste in my mouth was that they showed Rick Neuheisel from the Renegades cutting a player. The player's name's Jaw Joyner, and immediately turned into lemonade because he was like, "Hey, the good thing is like you've been claimed." And he's like, "Oh, bet, but here's the funny thing about that is that he literally went upstairs to the Gamblers and Kevin Sumlin, like in the same building. So he got cut. He had a dream crushed on, let's call it the 2nd floor, and then goes up to the 3rd floor, meets his new coach and his new teammates.
Wild.
Like, what an insane experience. And there was
I don't know
also
that happens in any other league or any other sport.
that just got straight cut.
That's impressive.
So anyway, like that was pretty cool to watch. Like, and Kevin Sumlin was like, "Yeah, you didn't have to go far. Welcome to the family."
Welcome to the team.
Yeah.
That's good stuff.
So that was interesting. And then I alluded to it earlier, but I know we've lost 4 in a row and everything's on fire, and I don't know how else to describe it, but we're playing at a neutral site. I like that wrinkle. We couldn't do it at Audi. We couldn't do it in Orlando. Let's do it in Columbus, Jay. Come on.
Man, you know how down bad you have to be like, oh, at least we're playing at a neutral site. No,
Yes, I understand.
we're
I
down
understand,
bad.
Jay. I understand. But hey, we're fishing at this point, and To Columbus, we go. A great Ohio
Columbus can go. All right, my lemon of the game was actually getting to see Sam Acho on the sideline doing an interview with number 10. He was their linebacker from the Orlando Storm. He was the one who on the special teams play punched the ball out.
Yes.
He's on the sideline. He's out of breath. He's trying to catch his breath for this interview with Acho. And really, my takeaway is just how cool it is. Some of the personalities that are involved with the UFL now. You got Sam Acho doing mid-game interviews. Like Sam Acho is a former NFL player. He's been on ESPN. He's been on the sidelines of NFL games. He's had a really great personality type of career as a sports broadcaster. We had John Gruden this year breaking down film all over YouTube. We had him for half a game a couple weeks back, just giving us football knowledge nuggets left and right. And I just think it's really impressive that we've been able to get such uh, a high bar, a high caliber personality like Acho, like Rudin, involved with the UFL and spring football. So, although the lemon is that we had another costly turnover, the lemonade is that we got to hang out with Sam Acho and we've got to hang out with John Gruden. And who knows who else is next, spending some time on the sideline of the UFL. So, lemons, lemonade.
Don't forget my guy whose name I don't know who drank a 22-ounce
Just
IPA
told me not to forget the guy you don't know.
in the. Okay, maybe that is hypocritical or an oxymoron, one of the two. The guy, well, yeah, you're right. I don't know his name. Who chugged a 22-ounce IPA in the Beer Snake on
Oh,
live
that's
television?
impressive.
I think he started chugging it. I don't know if he knew it was an IPA. You could
Yeah,
see.
that's deranged. That's deranged behavior. You don't need to be chugging those IPAs. Slow
Yeah,
down, my friend.
that's not even something I would do. But anyway, um, also a moment on the sideline. The one player who got the pick six, they interviewed him right after, and he did this. Which do you know what this dance move's called on the TikTok dance?
Oh, the kids do it.
Yeah,
It's
come on.
from a
How do you
small
not know?
child. I don't know what it's called. Do you know
We're
what it's
around
called?
too many kids. It's called scuba.
Cool.
That guy didn't know what it was called, and I was like, scuba, scuba. And
It's
they
just called this thing. The kids do
I
it.
shouldn't call him that guy. The player who punished us with a 80-yard pick six.
That guy.
We'll call him Defender's daddy for yesterday.
Oh no.
I mean, what else? Come on now. All right. Stock up, stock down, fraud watch, rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Well, that was super late and you
Rock,
still lost.
paper, scissors, shoot. Okay, you go first.
We lost a game where we had 110 yards more than the opponent. We outrushed them 219 yards to 77 yards. We had 19 first downs. They had 13 first downs. We were 2 for 2 on fourth down. They were 0 for 1 on fourth down. Time of possession, we had the ball for 32 plus minutes. They had it for 27. The things that killed us are sacks, tackles for loss, penalties, and turnovers. Stock up is this rushing game. The rushing attack is back. You mentioned it with Bradley Moore having the big body as the tight end setting the edge allows us to get more aggressive in the run game. That's a great thing. Stock up is the DC Defenders run game. It is back. The rushing attack is on. Stock down is our inability to have special teams. We haven't had special teams in a while. We've had some good returns in the past from X. We've had some good returns in the past from other players as well, but our special teams are not special. If anything, they're costing us. Missed field goals, leaving points off the board, and inability to execute on the punt game, and protect the ball in the kick return game. Stock down, special teams. Fraud watch. It hurts to say this. I'm losing trust in our head coach.
Yo, mine's the same.
It's scary. It's highly concerning because this isn't the first time that we've had end of game decisions that seemed questionable. Yesterday was the most questionable to me, and in a huge spot, in a huge moment, when you should be doing anything in your power to not lose to the same team 2 weeks in a row, knowing there's a chance you're gonna have to play them 3 weeks in a row, right? This could have shook out differently if we won yesterday. Did the Kings end up winning? I don't. Oh, the Kings did win, so it wouldn't have mattered. That was outside of our control. But control what you can control, and go out and try to beat the Orlando Storm. It was a close enough game that we should have been in attack mode as opposed to a wait and see or let the clock run out with 2 timeouts left. I can't make sense of it. I know I have football really high up on my list of sports that are the toughest to coach. There's so many things that you have to think about, so many things you have to manage, but the clock and end of game is something that you should be more prepared for. So that's my stock up, stock down, and unfortunate fraud watch.
We're sort of aligned. Well, we're aligned on the fraud watch. So let's go stock up. A new wrinkle. And again, I know I'm down bad. I'm fishing, but I'm looking for, it's like I'm climbing a really tough rock wall and I'm looking for rocks that give me hope that I can sink my fingers in there and continue to climb. And that's Jason Bean's legs. So my stock up are the legs of Jason Bean. That's added a new wrinkle to our offense. It's added something that opponents have to account for and figure out how they're going to stop it, and hopefully allows other things to open up. The legs of Jason Bean are impressive. They can extend plays. They can make us be able to use the same sort of RPO and option game that we used with Te'amu, but maybe even with a little bit more dynamic with the running side of things. So the legs of Jason Bean stock up. I do feel like how I would imagine maybe Giants fans felt watching Jackson Dart. Like you're watching a dynamic rookie that is being reckless and you know what they're doing is not sustainable, but like it's kind of exciting and it's giving you some hope. I imagine that that's kind of how that felt like last year. And this is kind of how I feel like watching Jason Bean. I also shouldn't feel like I'm watching a rookie with a quarterback who's he already started 3 or 4 games this year for the Kings. So it's really just him getting game experience with our system. But anyway, stock up, Jason Bean's legs. Got to get the head and the arm fixed a little bit, smoothed out, but the legs. Stock down, I've alluded to it earlier. And this is a pod favorite of ours, but Matt McCrane. Matt McCrane's getting a lot of buzz as the first kicker to hit a 4-pointer. He's been getting some NFL interest, NFL attention, and it feels like the attention is increasing on him and his performance is declining. Missing 2 field goals yesterday, missed one last week? I believe it was.
Yep.
He might have missed one he might have missed
last 2 weeks.
The last 3 weeks in a row. Anyway, definitely the last 2. But we just can't have that. I mean, this is supposed to be one of our rocks of our roster, and we need you to be better, Matt. We know you got it. And even the 51-yarder he missed yesterday would have been good from 60. Like he has the leg, but you got to have that touch. But that's easy for me to say. I couldn't kick an extra point. Anyway, with nobody there. For our watch. Yeah, I agree. Coach Harris. I love me some Coach Harris. I love the Coach Harris, Coach Barlow, Coach Keish tree. All right. But yesterday was insane. You have 2 timeouts left. Not only you didn't go for it on the 4th and 3 the drive before, but now when you're down 2 scores. But then you come back for this drive. You have 50 seconds and 2 timeouts. You have a short completion to Easy. No timeout. Get back on the ball. Deep completion to Briley. No timeout. You go up to the line. and you spike it
Oh,
with 3 seconds left, and then you throw a touchdown. So my thing is, with two timeouts in 50 seconds, he probably could have gotten 5 plays out of that
yeah.
with a chance to go for the 4th and 12 and at least have a Hail Mary attempt at the end. Now, again, the likelihood of us getting the 4th and 12 and getting a Hail Mary, obviously low. But your job in that position as a head coach is to put your team in the position and push the right buttons that I think, I mean, these aren't even hard buttons to push. These I like the nuances of the last few games. Oh, he could have done this, he could have done that. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. I've been there. I get that. You can see the rationale. But the way he handled that last drive didn't make any sort of sense, and you could have put your team in the position to win. Would you have won? We understand the likelihood is no. To with 10 seconds left, let's call it, you get the 4th and 12, you have a chance at a Hail Mary. Obviously, that's not likely, but you still did your job as a head coach to put your team in the best possible position to win. And that's all we're asking for. And to me, those were easy buttons to push that we could have pushed on Madden. Like, I always give coaches the benefit of the doubt. The last few weeks, oh, I can see why he did this. I can see why he did that. I'm not going to give coaches grief about that, but I'm not even going to give him grief about not going for it on the 4th and 3 the drive before. But this sequence where easy short pass, no timeout. Briley, completion, no timeout. Get up and spike it instead? You have 2 timeouts. Why are you spiking it? You have timeouts. Don't you spike it when you don't have time? Like, what are we doing here? That was frustrating. And these playoff games now, you only got to win one to get in the United Bowl. We've been within a touchdown each of these losses, well, except for loss one, the last 3 losses. Coaching decisions like that, missed field goals like McCrane's. I mean, that is the difference.
And turnovers.
And turnovers. So that's my stock up, stock down.
I am going to get on him for not using the timeouts before the 2-minute warning and going for it on the 4th and 3. Like we're if you're losing, you need to be aggressive. What is the point of playing not to lose when you're already losing?
Yeah. Yeah.
Get it together. Get it together. We got to get it together. Rooting for you, coach.
Yeah, we're 2 of the biggest Shannon Harris fans you'll find this side of the Mississippi River. Truly. But get it together. All right. The final whistle, the toot. I'm going to ask you a question, and it's going to lead to the thought. What is the most used kitchen appliance or tool you currently have in your kitchen right now? Like, what do you use most?
So, wonderful time for you to be asking that. I've got 2 answers to this. One is our griddle, our Blackstone portable griddle. Game changer.
That'll be at the
Right?
Big Green Bowl.
Went outside last night to go turn on the propane grill. Didn't have time for charcoal. We are trying to just flash some chops, pork chops, real quick, sear them, bake them, right? Gas is gone. Gas is done. Break out the Blackstone, fire that baby up right on the countertop. Fits perfectly. Get that going. Great time. Number 2, my wife got a $20 rice cooker that has revolutionized our dinners. 20 minutes, $20, and we've got rice instantly cooked in no time. So we've got rice with our chicken, rice with our pork chops. We've got rice with steak. We're doing stir fry. And the kitchen wrist twisted like it's stir fry, but it's an instant rice that tastes like heaven. Perfectly fluffed, never dry, never soggy. Perfectly cooked rice, $20 buy. Those are the 2 easy answers.
I guess I kind of slept on the rice cooker.
Dude, the
Shelby's
rice cooker
Korean.
is revolutionary.
Shelby's Korean, so the rice cooker has been a part of an everyday part of our lives.
It's a good move.
So I just kind of slept on that. But that's that. I'm glad that it's changed your world. It's just an everyday part of mine. I probably like pots and pans. But as far as an appliance or a tool, I just want to give love to the air fryer. I think
Mm,
I think the air fryer is the culinary invention of the 21st century. I mean, to do the work that an oven does quicker and arguably
maybe more efficiently. Yeah.
is just something I want to shout out. Air fryer has really changed the game, and I want everybody to get on board. So this is really an air fryer appreciation final thought I had in the car. I was like, I just think more people should be talking about air fryers.
Yeah.
That's all.
All right. I'm not mad at that. I am not mad at that. So my final whistle is a moment I want to take to have a conversation that I think you and I should have had already. And I'm excited to have this conversation with you because it goes beyond football. It goes beyond sports, but it is a tale as old as time in America. Athletes either being asked or deciding to stand up for what they believe is right. You mentioned Jackson Dart earlier, and there's the turmoil that's happening in Jackson Dart's life because of an introduction he made for the president, and his teammate Abdul Carter publicly tweeting about it, thinking, "Hey, I thought this was AI. You can't be serious." When he saw that his quarterback uh, introduced President Trump, something that Abdul Carter clearly objected to. Boomer Esiason weighed in, called Jackson Dart, basically called him a boy, said he was acting childish to speak his mind on that. At the same time, we have the NAACP pushing for high school athletes and college athletes that are in the transfer portal to avoid going to SEC schools or schools that are in states that uh, are going against the Voting Rights Act. So it's uh it's not a new thing where athletes either have the choice to or to not use their platform um, beyond the sports that they play, beyond the sidelines, beyond the bounds of their game. So I just want to have a question. Do athletes have a responsibility to use their platform for social change, or is the responsibility simply to do what's best for themselves and their families?
So I'm glad you used those two examples because I actually have two different takes on those. For one, I think political advocacy and social change and social justice are two different things. So per Jackson Dart introducing the president and Abdul Carter, I think that should be handled internally among them as far as their disagreements. And I think, I mean, it sounds like it has. It could also just be the Giants media team trying to make it go away. But I think when it comes to political advocacy and voice and whatnot, like you're grown men, do you? But if there are disagreements, work it out amongst each other. I feel much more strongly about the request or desire or initiative or idea to have college athletes or even high school kids that are looking to go to Division One programs avoiding SEC schools because I think that I consider if you're in college or younger, I still consider you a child, like a child. Like I think it's not fair to ask that of 17 to 22-year-old kids because especially now with the NIL, these players that are going to SEC schools are would be turning down life-changing money, life-changing legal money that could improve their own lives, the lives of their family, and set them up for success. Maybe even if the NFL and professional football is not for them. So while I do love the idea to have an initiative that advocates for Black and brown communities in the South, for sure. I don't think it's fair to put that weight on 17 to 22-year-old kids that could be turning down life-changing money. I think if you want to lean on professional athletes in that regard, then that's a different conversation. But I don't like the idea of putting that pressure on 17 to 22-year-old kids.
Fair, fair. However, my pushback is that we've always needed the youth in any meaningful and significant civil change in this country. Um, you look back on any movement that helped any group of people get their civil rights, their freedom, their voting rights, and the youth were always involved. I think it is a huge ask to say, hey, don't go to LSU, don't go to the University of Georgia, don't go play at Alabama, especially for someone who is on the precipice, on the brink of realizing a goal they've been working for their entire childhood. Um, but my thing is, if you're getting recruited by Alabama, you're probably also getting recruited by Penn State or Ohio State or Michigan. And I understand, like, if you've always had this goal, this mission, this dream of playing at Georgia or Bama or Mississippi State, to give that up right when you have it right there in your fingertips is a very difficult sacrifice to make. But I believe firmly that it's a worthwhile sacrifice to make, because you mentioned the life changing money um, that they could make right now in the moment. I think we also have to consider the world changing impact that decision could make. If you're if there's man if there's five stars that decide we're not doing this, we're not going to Alabama, we're not going to South Carolina, we're not going to those SEC schools. That happens 5 times. That's a crazy impact. Like the way that not even in high school, these kids are getting followed around starting in 8th grade before they even got into ninth and 10th grades, freshman, sophomore year of high school. They're being followed around and projected and prospected about what they can become. If you're that guy, you're going to be successful wherever you go. You have a chance to be successful wherever you go. You have a chance that you're not going to be successful no matter where you go. I think that standing up and using this platform to benefit not just your immediate family, but people way beyond that. Um, Again, that's easier to say when the choice isn't yours to make. However, I've put myself as close as I can, thinking back to what I would do at that age, and I am constantly reminded of the athletes that came before who put themselves in positions that were uncomfortable. I think of way back Jesse Owens. I think of the two athletes putting the fist up at the Olympics. I think of Jackie Robinson all the time. Like, I wore 42 in part because of Jackie Robinson. And in that, I always thought of athletes as having an opportunity to grab the attention of the general public, because sports are so often our escape from what's going on in the world, that when you use your sport and your platform in sport to say, no, you can't just care about me between the whistles. You can't just care about what we do as performers, and then you go off and you don't care about us as people or care about others as people. I think that's a powerful thing. I don't think it should just be for the black athletes. I think that athletes in general, if you are looking around and you're seeing something that you don't like, or you're seeing something that is wrong, speak up about it. Don't let Boomer Esiason tell you to shut up and don't speak your mind. Don't be childish. I think that the thing that happened in New York is honestly a really good testament of how you can operate in a situation where you have to work on a team with someone that you don't align with politically. I
Agree.
think that they both handled it. I think that, Jackson Dart, I can't wrap my head around why he did that. It didn't seem like it was something that needed to happen or something that was going to make any marginal benefit for him. I think it maybe he thought it was a cool opportunity. I also don't see anything wrong with what Abdul Carter said or the way that he addressed it. I thought his press conference was great at OTAs. I think he didn't have much to take accountability for. He simply voiced his opinion about something that someone else did publicly. But it seems like the two of them have gotten to a place where they can work together as teammates, one the leader of the offense, the other the leader of the defense, and not have it be a rift in their team locker room. Jameis Winston getting the second shout out in this pod for the day. Jameis did Jameis things and had a great press conference. I can't wait for him to retire from the game and get into uh, broadcasting. He's going to be amazing at it. But he was very open about, hey, this is awkward, and we can't run from the awkwardness. Like, real life does bleed into sports, and this is one of those situations where it does. I think that it's going to be very fascinating to see what comes of this boycott that the NAACP is pushing. The same time that the SCORE Act, another political move that's going to impact sports, is definitely going to be another thing that we come across, and it's exciting. I'm intrigued to see how things shake out, and that's the final whistle. Toot toot.
Quick bow on that. Jameis was great until he dragged it too much. I think the New York example is a great example of life. You're going to have political differences, and you need to figure it out uh, as just grown people that need to get along. And I love that for that. You just need to get along with people that think differently than you, and that's fine. And then I don't disagree with anything you're saying about the advocacy, the NAACP, the college students and recruits for SEC schools. But I still don't think it's fair to ask kids to make that decision. Like you said, you can put yourselves in the shoes, but I'm not going to be mad if a player is not going to stand on that. A 17, 18-year-old kid's not going to stand on that. But take us home, Jay. I'm going to cut out for this dog drop off. I love that thought. I love you. Shields up. Go, Jason Bean. Coach Harris, you got it. I'm leaving. Jay, take us home and cut the freaking stinking music. 50 Cent Curtis Jackson.
All right, y'all. Thanks for listening. Shields up, mics down. Go DC Defenders. Till next time, peace.